This video subject is a fear of death, and we will go into where does this fear really get its power. I will approach this subject from 3 different ways and then show how to do the inquiry about all of them. And you might get more aspects in your mind, and then you can do the inquiry about them later. So the first one is this kind of fear, fear of suffering, that when this heart stops beating and this body dies, something bad will happen. This kind of fear of suffering, something bad will happen to us. Okay, this is the first one. Then the second one is this kind of fear that I can't live with someone, or that someone can't live without me. This is one thing what we are gonna do the inquiry with. And then the third one is this kind of fear that everything stops and we don't exist anymore. This kind of fear of not existing. So this is the third one what we're gonna look at. And there is 2 things that are really important to come aware of when you start to do inquiry about any fear. The first one is that you can come aware of in your mind this source that talks about the fear and is afraid, is fearful. You can kind of observe that source from aside, like a little bit like this, that there it is talking. And this happens in your mind. You can start to look at it, look at that source. What is it saying? From aside. And this is important because then this fear, it doesn't totally suck you into it, but you can step out of it, kind of, and then observe it and then do the inquiry about it. So this is very important to come aware of. And then the second one is that you have that loud voice in your mind that is speaking about the fear, and then come aware of that there is another voice in your mind as well. It is this intuitive voice that is there as well. And when you start to do the inquiry, you will start to trust this intuitive side more and more, rather than this other side of your mind. So these are the 2 things that are really, really good to know when you start to do the inquiry about any fear. Okay, but we are looking at this fear of death now. So the first one was this fear of suffering, and now I'm gonna do inquiry about it so we can see what is behind there. And every time when we do the inquiry, we are observing our mind, the images that are in our mind. The images can be pictures, they can be colors, they can be some voice, they can be words, all kind of things. And I'm gonna do the inquiry now about this suffering related to this fear of death. And you can follow with me. You can close your eyes if you want. If you don't want, that's okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna see what comes to my mind when I'm thinking about the death and this fear of suffering. I get this image about an old man in my mind. It has this long beard and it's sitting top of the cloud, and it is having this angel in the other side and then devil in the other side. Okay, this is the image about the God which is a familiar from this Christianity. I can see that. Then I have an image of this beautiful place. Everyone is happy there. Sun is shining. It's like this happy, beautiful place. And then I have this image about fire, and it's red, and it's like it's very intense picture. And I can see that these images are related to these ideas of a heaven and a hell. And I can see that there is this idea behind that there is someone waiting for me when I die. There's someone waiting for me, that have I lived my life right? Have I done something wrong? Or have I not done something that I should have done? Okay, so when we are looking at these images, let's be aware of the emotions about the body, like what these images are feeling in the body. This is very important as well, that how they are affecting, how does they feel, where they get their power. Okay, and now when I do the inquiry, I want to look at these images a bit deeper. I want to find out what they want to tell me, and I'm going to ask myself, what are they telling about myself? And I can see that there is a side in my mind that believes in a punishment, or is afraid of punishment, that believes in a guilt. And this is very important to come aware of, because this is actually related to this unconscious guilt, which is in all of our mind. And this unconscious guilt is so that when we don't want to face it, the mind does that, it starts to project it outside. So this kind of image about punishing God, it's actually one guilt projection. It's nothing more. So I'm not going to go more into this unconscious guilt now. I just wanted you to come aware of it. And this is one way how this guilt can be seen. That it can be projected in these images. And this punishing God is one of that image. I know it's nothing more, because I know there is no punishing God. That kind of God doesn't exist. I remember God. I know that God isn't any object or any image. I know everyone has the memory of God in their mind, but it's not any object. It's not any image, the God. So this fear of suffering was related to this idea about punishing God, and this fear of being punished. And if you want to continue later about this subject God, you can do an inquiry about that and see what is coming in your mind. And if you want to do that, then it's good to see what kind of images is coming. Are they like based on some fear or some guilt? Or are they based on peace or love or security? Like some of the images can come from this storyteller, but some of the images can come from this intuitive side. And then they are like leading to the truth. Like I said earlier, the knowing of the God it's not the God isn't any image or object, but you can do an inquiry about this and see what kind of images come to your mind, and then do inquiry about them, and then break those ideas. The second aspect, what we're gonna look at now, relate to this fear of death, is this idea of I can't live without someone, or someone can't live without me. And in my experience, this is related to this trusting in life, like in general. The more I have observed life and these intuitive knowings, what I have got doing this inquiry and investigating this life deeper, is that nothing happens here accidentally. Like there is no consequences here at all. Like every person is in our life as long as they are meant to be, and we are in others' life as long as it's meant to be. That there is this bigger plan, and everything is okay. Like there is this bigger plan that is related to everything. But we can do inquiry about this subject. We can do the inquiry, for example, so that you can see what is coming in your mind when you are thinking about that person that you feel that you can't live without. You can see what kind of images is coming and feel all the motion that is coming, whether if it's sorrow, hatred, fear, whatever feelings are coming when you are doing this, and come aware of those images. Are they images about that person's body? Is there images about you and that person, about the bodies? What kind of images you are getting in that moment, and feel all the motions that are coming, and then at the same time be aware, put your attention that there is part in your mind that is in peace, whatever is happening. Whatever images is in your mind, or whatever motions you are going through, there is this intuitive part in you that is like ever present, and that the peace is in your mind all the time, and that this intuitive side, it never ever leaves you. It's always there. And the same thing is with everyone's mind. So if you feel that someone can't live without you, this intuitive side is also in their mind. And the life will support you, and the life will support them. That life isn't depend on one person. It's communicating you through different ways and through different persons. It's never dependent on one person. And you can start to trust more this intuitive side, this peace inside of you, and this intuitive side of you that never ever leaves you. So when you do the inquiry, look at the images, what is coming, feel the motions, and be aware at the same time about this peace that is in you. And be aware that you are managing. You manage whatever images is coming, or whatever situations come, you can go through it. That everything is okay. That this life will never leave you. This intuitive side will never leave you. And this intuitive side will never leave anyone else. So the third aspect was this fear of not existing. This fear that when this heart stops beating, we don't exist anymore. And one way to do inquiry about this is to start to look for that source that is dying. Where is the one that is dying? So again, you can do the inquiry so that you are looking at the images that is coming into your mind. You might get the images about the body, that it's grey and looks like a death, about your body. You can get images like that. And then you are looking, am I that image? Am I that picture? Am I that picture? Different images might come. And then put your attention also again in the body. How do you feel when the images come? And you can start to look from your body also. Where is the one that is dying? Where is it? Like the body is here, but where is that source that is dying? Where is it? Where is that dying person? If you feel some motion in your body, then look at, is that motion that person? Is that the one that is dying? Is it the motion? Or is it again some image? What kind of images comes? They can often be images of the body. And you can go directly in the body and look, where is the one that is dying? Yes, the body is here, but where is the one that is dying? Have we just believed that there is someone? Have we just believed in these images and these motions, like these images that have this strong emotional connection? Have we just believed in images? Where is the one? This is very good subject also to go into. And I wanna encourage you to go into this fear of death, because it's very good subject to come and look and inquire into, and it can relieve you amazing things. And it can feel that it's a subject that it's not nice to look at, but when you are actually looking at it with different aspects, it's amazing what it can relieve. And I want to encourage you, do the inquiry about this. There were 3 different approaches, really shortly, but you can go in all of them more deeply and see what is coming, and then all the other things that is coming relate to this subject. But go into it. This is really good to go, so you can be more free to live. When you see that what has what fears or what forms of fear or what kind of subjects or images or ideas has been around this fear of death, when they start to bubble, when you start to see through them, you can actually start to live for freely. This fear of death doesn't tighten you anymore. It's not it's like this background fear that is holding you and leading you until you are looking at it, and then it starts to then it starts to let go of its power. Okay, thank you, and go for it.